And hello and welcome. Welcome, everyone. This is our monthly Angel Appreciation and Activation. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome and thank you for being here. Each month, we highlight a different angel, talk about them, get to know a little bit more about their energy, and then we get attuned to their energy. Well, tonight I have a beautiful meditation to take us into that attunement and give you some time to spend with this angel Cassiel. That's who we're focused on. And I forgot to hit my record button, so let me do that. Okay. Because I do want to put that up for anyone who wants to see it if they can't be here in person. We have a beautiful audience on Zoom, and if you're finding us on on Facebook or on YouTube, welcome, welcome. And I have it up on my phone so I can see if there's any messages that come through that way. All right, Archangel Cassiel. Well, before we get into Cassiel, I just want to ask, how are you all enjoying these? And is it helping to get the information about an angel and know more to how to connect? And do you have anything that you'd like to share? We have people here on Zoom. If any of you want to share anything about your experience with these classes, you have an opportunity now to say your piece, if you'd like, before we go into learning about a new angel. Andrea, I see your heart. And Lynn, you love it. Good. I love that. I love teaching it. And it's so interesting when the angels gave me this message at the end of last year. They said, you'll teach about a different angel each month. And I'm going, okay, you'll tell me which angels, right? And they did. They lined it all out. So each month we have a different one to focus on.
Every time I learn something new about an angel that I thought, I knew fairly well, and then when you teach us, I learn something new totally about them, and that just makes me feel closer to them.
Yeah. And it helps you to understand, or helps me to understand more about how I know who's there, right? Is that what you all are getting as well? So I know I've been working with the angels my whole life, but sometimes an angel comes in and I'm like, I don't recognize your energy. Tell me about yourself. Who are you? And help me to get to know you. And that's been a real blessing to me, especially with this angel, Cassiel. I had not worked with Cassiel until maybe, I want to say about 5 years ago. And I got introduced to Cassiel and been a beautiful, beautiful presence in my life. And, there's no accidents or coincidences in life. Everything is divine. And it's divine timing that we're learning more and communicating with Cassiel right now. And I think that's going to make sense when we talk about the attributes of Cassiel and what Cassiel helps us with and helps us to understand, which is duality, right? And what better time than to focus on that? Because that's what we're seeing played out in our world right now. We're seeing that duality in such a big way. And to me, it feels like that's like a last hurrah of the darkness that's trying to pop up and keep us separated and keep us in that illusion of separation. We're seeing the duality in a really big way. So Cassiel, the perfect angel for us to focus on. So before I bring up the presentation, the PowerPoint, just want to take a moment for us to breathe and ground and ask our four beautiful archangels that I always call in from the four directions, have them join us to do this presentation tonight. So take a breath into your heart. And I invoke the energy of Archangel Raphael, Raphael with the element of air. Raphael is the healing angel. Whatever healing is needed on any level. Thank you, Raphael, for joining us. Archangel Michael. Michael comes in with the element of fire, heating the place up when he comes in. Michael's our protector, our guardian, and helps us to discern and cut cords from that which no longer serves us and call in that which does. And then we have Archangel Gabriel. We ask Gabriel to help us with clarity, with understanding. Anytime that we meet a new person, a new angel, a new spirit guide, it's always good to have Gabriel to point out all the different aspects and help us have more understanding. And Gabriel comes in with the element of water, cleansing and clearing, making it fresh for us. Then we turn to Archangel Uriel. Uriel with the element of earth. And we're asking Uriel now to help us ground. So as you breathe in, feel your energy go down the length of your body, all the way down and out the bottom of your feet. And let those roots grow down into the earth, spreading out, just like a tree branch and tree roots spread out, becoming solidly fixed down into the earth. And then breathe that energy back up to your heart. Anchor it there in your heart. And we're going to take another divine breath in to connect with the divine. As we watch this energy go up and out to the universe, we ask for a blessing from the divine on all that's being taught and shown, all the connection, the activation, the attunement. We ask that be divinely led and blessed. And we thank you, Creator. We thank you, Divine Mother, Jesus, all the guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and loved ones in spirit. Now breathe that back down into your heart. Anchor that down with the earth energy. And just release that breath and let's relax our minds and get with the program of learning about Archangel Cassiel. So let me pull up my presentation for us. Okay, just want to make sure you can still hear me while the presentation's being shown. Okay, great. All right, so let me figure out how to make that bigger. That's, hopefully you can see it and everything that I show on here. I can't see what to make it big. Sorry. Okay, we'll just go with what we got. So this is the Angel Appreciation and Activation for July. We're starting into that second half of the year. And tonight we're going to connect with Archangel Cassiel. Cassiel, who is that angel? Let's get introduced to Cassiel's energy. The name Cassiel means speed of God. And when we think of speed, we think time, right? Speeding up, going fast or slow, right? That duality. Archangel Cassiel is also known as the angel of tears and temperament, or who I call the angel of duality, because Cassiel can help us to find that balance and find that harmony when we're feeling low, when we're feeling that we need to make sense when things don't make sense, right? Sometimes it's really difficult in this world of ups and downs and black and white and all those contrasting things in life. This is the angel that's so perfect for us right now. Just makes sense that Cassiel is showing up for us because his aspect of helping us to find that harmony and that balance in the duality is exactly what we need. And when we think about duality, it's an opposition of things, right? And it's like, how would we know what up is if we haven't experienced down? Or how would we know good if there's not an opposite of that, which is bad? I don't like that term. We'll just say not good. But there's always a duality here in this earthly experience. And Cassiel is the one that helps us, not necessarily to make sense of it, but to find the balance, find the harmony that's there for us. Because it is a fundamental part of what we're doing here. It's how we learn. We learn through those experiences and those lessons. And I have a dear friend. I just met with her a few minutes ago, and one of her little lines that she says is, "You don't know your spark until you've met your dark." So when we go through those dark moments, those trials, those fires, then we can find that spark that's inside of us. Okay, so Cassiel is the one to call on when you need solace or comfort, when things happen that are so traumatic. And look at the time that we're in right now. There's been so much tragedy that's happened just in the last few days, and so many people are just heartbroken. So how do we find that solace? How do we find the balance and move forward without getting bogged down in blame and shame and survival guilt and the whys? So this is what Cassiel's role is. The angels all have a number, and I think it's interesting to find the numerology of these angels. Archangel Cassiel's number is 781. I love that number. It's not something that you hear a lot, right? It's not like a common, like a lot of the angel numbers are repeating numbers, 555, 333. So 781, again, doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to, because this is the angel that makes us think. This is the angel that helps us and inspires us to know what's what. If we break that number down, which is what happens with numerology, we break it down to a single digit, guess what? It's a 7, because 7 plus 8 plus 1 is 16, and 1 plus 6 is 7. So 7 is a very high number spiritually, and that's what it signifies. Anytime you see 7 or repeating sevens, there's something that you're being shown about your spirit self or about spirituality and God and the universe. So again, it makes sense that that would be Archangel Cassiel's number, that's 781. Now, a lot of people will write this number out, and there's a belief that if you write that number, consistently write it every day, 781, and I don't know why, but it was chosen to write it 45 times every day, that you're going to start manifesting crazily fast. So if you really want to bring something in for you, then pay attention to this number. It carries a resonance with it of speed, and that's Archangel Cassiel, the speed of God, speeding things up, making them happen and happen instantaneously. So 781, you can write it out. You can say it multiple times throughout the day. Just call on the energy of Archangel Cassiel and relate it to those numbers of 781. The gemstones. I always like to use gemstones to invoke the energy of angels. And the ones we use with Cassiel are quartz, emeralds, and sapphire. I really like using emeralds. That green energy, it's just so heartfelt when you hold any of the gem green stones, green gemstones. That was like dyslexic. Um, and I love laughing. I laugh at myself a lot, if you all haven't noticed. So when you hold green, doesn't have to be an emerald, could be I don't know, any of them. Fluoride, there's green agates. Any of the green ones will help you to get more centered in your heart. And when you're more centered in your heart and you're coming from that place, then it makes sense that you're going to really resonate with the angels that you're trying to connect with. Colors that you might see with Archangel Cassiel. The number one color is silver. I call him the silver flash because that's exactly what happens a lot of times. When Cassiel comes in, there's like this big flash of silver. And I wear silver a lot, more so than gold. And I think I connect more in with that energy of just, it feels more grounded. It's not flashy and it's just more solid. To me, it feels more solid. So his color of silver, when you see that, sometimes silver and white intertwined. I've noticed that when he comes in. Bronze, green, again, of course, and purple. And those are interesting combinations of colors. But the main one that I've experienced and that I can speak from is the silver. And paying attention if you see a silver flash or if more silver starts showing up in your life, just ask, am I being drawn to something here? Am I being shown a message through this? So pay attention. His symbol is tears. And I see a lot of Kuan Yin energy with Cassiel. Cassiel has so much compassion. He really does help us through those hard times, those fires, those times when things aren't making sense, when the numbers aren't adding up. So he helps us when we have the tears ourselves. And so it's interesting that the symbol that's associated with him are the tears of compassion. And when we're just think about it, when you're being compassionate with another person, we do get emotional, don't we? When we allow ourselves to think about what that person's going through, put ourselves in their shoes and see what it would feel like. That's compassion, that's empathy. So this beautiful angel knows all about that and helps us to understand it more fully as well. The element is earth. It's very, very grounded. And I see Cassiel and Uriel working together a lot to, again, help bring us to balance, bring us back to center, bring us back to that place where we're not constantly saying, I don't know what to do right now because everything's in turmoil, everything's upside down. So them working together helps us to feel more centered and more balanced and find that place called home in our hearts. The direction is north, which makes sense because Cassiel is a very wise angel. A lot of wisdom in that northern energy. So again, Uriel is of the north. So as we look at that and look at the two of them working together, it makes sense that we can always have balance, and especially if we call both of them in at the same time, it's just going to be expanded out. In the tree of life in the Kabbalah, which is this diagram that's behind me, You all are familiar now, I hope, after we've been working with it for 6 months. This is our 7th month of doing it. There is a representative angel on each of those points that you see, those circles, and they all resonate with a part of our body. So Archangel Cassiel is at the very top. As you're looking at it, you see the 2 asterisks there, and that is the Hakma. And the Hakma is all about wisdom. Again, it all comes together, right? When we're talking about these angels and learning more about their energy, it makes sense that this wise angel knows how to come to our level to help us understand things that don't make sense. And it doesn't mean that we're going to figure it all out. We're not going to have all the answers, but we can come to a closer understanding and a closer acceptance of what life is all about when we allow that energy to guide us and to be there for us. All right, let's move on. So, who is Cassiel, and what can Cassiel do for us? Well, he can manipulate time and space. How beautiful is that? Have you ever heard of bending time? Anybody heard that expression before? It's a very interesting concept. And when I first heard of it, I thought, well, that's crazy, right? Because we know that time is linear. We have like 7 o'clock, and then there's 7:01 and 7:02, and on and on and on. How the heck can you bend time? But time, our linear time, is a human concept. It's something that we created so that we could know what's what. We can know what time of day it is and when to do certain things and when to show up somewhere. I've actually experienced the time bending where in time, I'm able to get to where I need to go or show up in a certain place when I need to be there, and it has nothing to do with our linear time. It would seem impossible that I could get somewhere in the amount of time that I have allowed myself to be there. But nothing is impossible with spirit. So time bending, sometimes reversing time. I mean, nothing's impossible. And that's what this angel helps us to understand, that time can be manipulated, space can be manipulated. I'm a big follower of Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, and I understand that there were many times when this happened, when he was in his human body, that he was able to manipulate time and space and be somewhere when it seemed impossible that he could be there and at another place at the same time. So never say never. Never look at something as impossible, because in the spirit world, everything is possible. With time, Cassiel helps us to make informed decisions. And that's important, because when we are just being spontaneous, which is, there's nothing wrong with being spontaneous, but when we haven't thought something through, Cassiel helps us to understand more fully and see the bigger picture of what we can do in our given time. Manifestation, again, saying that special number of his, 781, and feeling the energy of it will help us to manifest our desires swiftly and efficiently and bring those desires more into the fruition of it. Like we call it miracles, right? When something happens and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle that that happened today or in the way that it did. Well, it is a miracle. And miracles can be assisted by these wonderful angels that we're learning about. He can help us to achieve what seems to be impossible. Again, That's not a word that I choose to have in my vocabulary, because I know that there is no such thing as being impossible. And that's what he helps us to understand. Being the angel of duality, he can help us with conflict resolution. And wow, do we need that when we think of peace on earth and bringing forth peace amongst the nations, amongst the people? Then dissolving the doubts and the conflicts is huge. And this is an angel we can call on to help to bring forth peace, peace in our own lives, in our own hearts, and peace in our relationships with others, and peace amongst our nations of the earth. And one way he does that is to enhance our mental clarity. It's not just Archangel Gabriel that helps us have clarity. This angel as well can help us if we call on him, and help us to understand things and maybe put it in a different perspective and see it in a different way. So those are some of the really cool things about Archangel Cassiel. What are some of the signs that Cassiel is present with us? Well, the visual signs, as I mentioned, the silver flash or a purple light, those are two ways that I've seen him show up in my own life, especially the silver. I don't relate silver with any of the other angels that I interact with. So this is very unique to Cassiel's energy, is having that silver flash. You might feel a lot of warmth. He's said to manipulate holy fire. And if you're familiar with holy fire Reiki, it gets very, very warm when that holy fire is being manipulated and sent into your body experience. Some of the synchronicities, if you've had a time shift, maybe you thought that you lost some time, or like I said, something sped up and all of a sudden you were able to make an appointment that you normally would not have been able to make, or you might have been late for, but you made it there on time. Just ask, did I have help? Were you helping me, Cassiel, to get where I needed to go without breaking speed limits? Intuitive insights. So if there's a clarity that comes through, or there's a swift resolution of something, maybe there's a conflict with someone or with some experience, and all of a sudden that's cleared up, and you're like left with the deer in the headlights, like, what happened? And I've experienced that. I'm like, what just happened? Something shifted, something changed. Just again, just sit with his energy, and you're going to be attuned to his energy in the meditation. So just ask, Cassiel, were you helping me there? Is this what just happened, that you sped up time, or you helped that clarity to come through, where we were able to resolve a conflict with ease and grace? The connection with nature. You all that know me know that I love the night sky. I love the night sky more than I do the day sky, because there is so much happening in the night sky. And to me, it's just beautiful watching all those stars and the constellations and all the happenings that are going on up in the night sky. Well, next time you look up at that night sky and you're seeing the stars or the galaxy or anything else that's going on up there, think of Cassiel and ask to be connected with him, and have him bring some clarity. Maybe you'll see things that you wouldn't normally see up in the sky when you do that. All right, so how can we get closer with Cassiel? In our daily practice, we can meditate with Cassiel. Now, we don't pray to angels. Angels are a creation of God, just as we are in our human form. We pray to God, but we can pray and ask to be closer with the angels that we want to be closer to. So in your prayer time, you can ask, will you bring Cassiel closer so that I can get to know him better. And then when you meditate with him, just ask to be shown the clarity that you're looking for in your life. You can use some of the crystals, the gemstones. I love amethyst. It's my favorite gemstone. So I always have some of that with me. And quartz, of course, who doesn't like quartz? It's so amazing, the connection that can happen when you're using quartz. Use your visualization, visualizing silver light flowing from your heart to your third eye will help to bring that connection in more clearly, and just see it as a silver streak going in that direction. So those are some of the things that you can do, your daily practices, to get to know Cassiel better. Cassiel also has a huge connection with Divine Mother, working very, very closely with Divine Mother, and which makes sense because of his compassion. And Divine Mother is so nourishing and nurturing for us that they work in conjunction to help each other. It's also been said that Cassiel can help us to release karmic debt, and as well as breaking negative cycles and releasing the energy of money and the lack mentality. Maybe there were lifetimes when you took a vow of poverty, or you just found that you were oppressed in a lifetime. So Cassiel can help break through some of those energies. Very connected with past lives and past life energy. So if you've ever studied your past lives or asked to know more about anything that might be what I call bleeding through into this current lifetime, then you can definitely ask Cassiel to help with that. All right, so that's the energy that I wanted, the information I wanted to bring through. And it is time now to do our activation to Cassiel's energy. Before we do this, is there anything that didn't make sense? Any questions that you want me to explain a little bit further? Or did you get the information, and did it make sense, what was presented? I see some nodding heads. Okay, thank you. All right, so I don't see Kathleen. Did she leave, or is she still here? Maybe she is. I'm just not seeing her on my screen. All right. So let's go into the meditation. And during the meditation, you will receive the activation.
Her video is turned off.
Okay, that's why I can't see her. That's fine. You don't have to have video on for this. And then we'll discuss after the meditation what you got from it. So let's just focus on that candle flame for a moment and breathe in. And as you breathe, just let all distractions, let the world just float away so that you're right here, totally present. And as you exhale, just release. Release what you don't need. Feel yourself becoming lighter. Feel yourself becoming more grounded. Feel as if you are floating. What a great feeling to not have any weight, to just be floating through the still waters of time. And up above you, see the stars. For some, it is nighttime, so there is a night sky. And the stars are just there whispering, blinking, just being. All around you, the veil is thinning. Before you, a soft presence emerges, strong, quiet, unwavering. He does not rush. He does not speak unless asked. He simply is. This is Archangel Cassiel. So in your heart, silently say, Beloved Archangel Cassiel, guardian of sacred cycles and divine time, I welcome your presence into my stillness. Teach me the wisdom of waiting. Show me the gift within the silence. Help me walk in patience, in purpose, in peace. Breathe in and see if you can feel his presence, comforting, protective. There's no urgency. There's only stillness, only truth that has come forth. In your mind's eye, Cassiel shows you a clock. The hands do not tick, they just turn slowly, guided by unseen wisdom, not by any means that we have in our earthly experience. You watch, you wait, and you trust. He places this timepiece into your hands. You are right on time, he whispers. Your soul knows the rhythm. Rest in it. Let this sensation of surrender settle into your body. Let the idea that you are not late become your truth. Let go of rushing. Let go of needing to know, needing all the answers. Just be. You are enough in this moment. And now watch as Cassiel raises his hand to your heart. A beam of cool silver blue light flows gently into your chest. It moves like a river, clearing away old karmic weights, unspoken fears, and hidden impatience. I attune you now to the silence within, to the divine unfolding of your path. When all is quiet, listen. There I will be. Just take a moment to receive that. Breathe it in. Let it integrate through your energy field. Let's just sit with Cassiel while he attunes each of us, those present and those who will be present. And just feel with no rush, no time limit, just be. Perhaps during this time with Cassiel, while he is activating that energy throughout your body, you would like to speak something to him. It may be a question, it may be a gratitude. Whatever it is, just communicate with this beautiful angel in this time that we have together. As you start to feel yourself returning again, see the candle flame. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And hear the whisper as Archangel Cassiel gets ready to depart. In the stillness, you will find me. In the waiting, you will know yourself. Trust the long road. It was made just for you. And when you are ready, you can come back from your meditation and be present here with us, knowing you've been touched by an angel, that you've been activated to this beautiful energy of love, compassion, and helping us to have more clarity, more joy, more of what we're here for, to be able to show up fully in this world as who we are. So now is the time when you can share, if you would like, bringing us all into the room. And if there's anything that you would like to share from this experience, Lynn, I saw your message. I think that was you, that it was wonderful. So glad that you enjoyed that.
Carrie, it's Kathy. I'm still here.
Hi, Kathy.
I couldn't find the microphone on my iPad. Um, this was wonderful. It was just so calming, and I'm still having a little trouble talking, but I'm glad I was with you tonight, and I listened to everything. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you were here, and glad that you got to meet Archangel Cassiel.
Mm-hmm.
And what a wonderful angel to work with for bringing in whatever it is that you
Yes,
want to have in your life. And I know that you have goals and desires. So utilize this angel,
that's for
utilize what
sure.
it offers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank
This
you for sharing. And Lynn says she really felt Cassiel here with us. Yeah, he was big time. I was sitting earlier just by myself in meditation and just asked Cassiel, what words do we need to hear to really feel your presence? What can we do to bring you closer to us during this time together? So,
this
we have Erica watching, and you felt the masculine energy in your room. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, angels don't really have a gender, but they appear to us the way we need them to appear to us. And I think it's very interesting that Cassiel has so much compassion, because we usually think of that as a feminine trait, right? We have Kuan Yin, we have Divine Mother, and to have an angel that has that much uh, feeling toward us of what we're going through and to help us through those tough times, I think it's amazing to have an angel like this that can understand us more fully.
his presence was very strong. I I I almost felt like I was going to faint. It was so strong when he first came in.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've learned a lot about him that I didn't know because I really thought he was more like a watcher. You know, that he, how can I put it, wasn't that active with us. You know, that I knew his compassion. I knew about his taking on our burdens and being with us. But he does so much more, you know, that I didn't know. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Jean. I'm so glad that you were able to learn more about Cassiel. From what I understand, he is with the group of angels called the Powers, and they are very, very high up and very influential with us. So,
Um,
yeah, so
well, he's isn't he the guardian of the seventh? Well, they
mhm,
call it the seventh heaven,
the
but
seventh heaven, the seventh ray.
Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
and
So doesn't it make sense that his number is seven?
it absolutely does, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, I love
You
that.
say he's with the angel of powers? Is that what you said?
Well,
POWRS?
there are groups of angels. They're mentioned many times in spiritual writing. They're in the Bible, they're in the Kabbalah, they're in many of the texts. And so one of that group of angels is called the powers. There's powers, there's municipalities. Um, I could maybe work something up to teach about that in the next class, the next angel class, where you can see those classifications of the different angels. And, you know, the archangels is a classification, but an angel can also come from one of those other realms, like the powers or municipalities. There are
Interesting.
certain ones that don't interact with us. Those are the higher ups, the ones that are just there surrounding God and surrounding the throne. So yeah, I'll do something with little teaching with that with our next class if you'd like.
That sounds
Suzanne's
very
watching.
interesting.
Everybody say hello to Suzanne.
Hi,
And she said, I
Suzanne.
need Cassiel in my life. The time bending is happening a lot to me. I think a lot of us are feeling that right now. We're feeling that shift, especially and going into a different energy during this time. So the time bending is showing up more and more for more people and just so interesting. And sometimes I think of it like me going into different time zones. Right? So I might be a couple of hours behind you guys, or there may be times when I'm a couple of hours ahead of some people that I'm talking to. So that's kind of what time bending feels like. It's like you're you're seeing this difference than what it normally would look like if you were just trekking along with the minutes and the seconds ticking off the clock. So, oh, and the clock. Did any of you receive that timepiece when Cassiel handed it over to you? I thought that was so interesting that he wanted to show up in that way to just remind us, you know, that our linear time, that's really not what it's all about. And you know, this lifetime that we're only here for a minute anyway. So just be aware that what we're doing here, it's just a little bit, a little blink in all of eternity. So don't get so caught up in time as we know it, but more so in time of the spirit time and what's really real. And then we'll see it life a whole lot differently and take it a whole lot with a different perspective, I think. And Brandy's watching. Hello, Brandy. So glad that you all are finding this tonight. And the replay will be on both YouTube and Facebook for anyone who might have wanted to watch it, but the timing didn't work out for you in our linear time. All right, let me see if there's any other comments from you all. Oh, cool. You did not see a watch, Lynn, but you did get that message from him. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Every time I sit with the angels, I get a message every time. They're just so wanting to communicate with us. They want us to hear them, to see them, to feel them. And that's why they wanted me to do these teachings every month for us to get to know the ones that maybe we weren't so familiar with, and some of the ones that we knew already and were familiar with, but to get to know how to communicate with them more fully. And that's the whole purpose of doing this, is to bring that information forward. Well, I appreciate every one of you that showed up, whether you're here on Zoom or you watched it online or you will watch it later on the replay. Thank you for tuning in. I did have written down who next month was, but then I don't have that in front of me. But you can find it on the online on the event page for the angel activation. And whoever it is, I'm sure it's going to be powerful, just like Cassiel. So now we have a month to work with this energy and work with this angel. Let's see what miracles can show up for us in this month, with us losing the thought that it's limited with our linear time, because it's not. And we can ask to have that time shifted and to have time bend for us. So thank you to everyone. Bless you, and thank you to Enlightened World Network for providing this platform for us to come together each month. We so appreciate you, and I'm just so appreciative of Dr. Ruth Anderson for bringing us Enlightened World Network. So thank you, and we'll see you back here next month. All right, everyone.